Welcome to The Explainer. So let's talk about forgiveness. But I'm going to guess it's not in the way you're used to thinking about it. We're not talking about some warm, fuzzy feeling you have to work up. No, today, we're decoding a powerful, almost legal concept. We're reframing forgiveness from a simple emotion into an act of, get this, governmental authority. We're going to explore how it actually functions like a key, a very real tool that you use to govern your own spiritual territory.
Okay, let that one sink in for a second. A jurisdictional act. This single idea, if you really get it, changes everything. It takes forgiveness out of the realm of feelings and puts it into the realm of power and law. It's a decision, an executive order you issue within a spiritual kingdom. And, as you'll see, it has massive consequences, not for the other person, but for your own access to opportunity, to breakthrough, and to divine power.
So here's how we're going to break this all down. We've got 6 key areas we'll walk through. We'll start with what it means for forgiveness to be a governmental decision. Then we'll look at the cosmic conflict it operates in, get into the actual mechanics of how it works, and then we'll cover the serious cost of not using this key. But then, the good part, the incredible treasure it unlocks, and finally we'll wrap up by understanding your personal, jurisdictional authority in this whole process.
Right, so this is the absolute core of the whole thing. We have to completely shift our perspective. Forgiveness isn't about waiting until you're not angry anymore, or until the pain goes away. It's a deliberate, functional, executive action. Seriously, think of it less like going to a therapy session and more like a governor signing a decree into law. It's a strategic choice you make to align yourself with a higher reality, for a very specific strategic purpose. It's about function, not feelings.
Now check this out. Look at how a jurisdictional act is defined here. The most revolutionary part? The focus isn't on the offender at all. This has nothing to do with whether they said sorry or if they deserve it. The entire point of this act is to maintain your personal alignment with a higher set of laws, to make sure your access to everything good, to opportunity, to peace, to provision, remains wide open. It's a strategic move to protect your own spiritual supply lines. It's about you, not them.
And this, right here, just brilliantly illustrates the whole problem. You see, many people are walking around with this incredible tool, this silver key. It's in their pocket, they have full ownership of it, but because they won't use it, because they withhold forgiveness, they are effectively locked out of their own inheritance. I mean, can you imagine? It's like owning the deed to a mansion full of treasure, but choosing to live on the street right outside because you refuse to turn the key in the front gate. It's a tragedy of unused authority.
Okay, so this key, this jurisdictional act, doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's a tool you use in the middle of a conflict, a war between two completely opposite spiritual operating systems, two different ways of, well, rendering reality itself. And if you don't understand this conflict, you'll never understand why the key is so absolutely critical.
So on one side, you've got what the sources call the fractured creation rendering, or FCR. Think of this as the old, buggy, default operating system of a fallen world. It runs on reaction, on trauma, on toxicity. And I love this phrase, systemic lag. It's that feeling of always being a step behind, right? But on the other side, you have the new creation rendering, or NCR. This is a total system upgrade, a new reality defined by what's called responsibility, dominion, and this beautiful, frictionless spiritual flow.
Let's dig a little deeper into this FCR reality. The image here is of a heart made of dark, cracked stone. I mean, just picture that. It's heavy, it's brittle. Any light that gets in there is immediately trapped in the fractures. A heart like this can only operate on one frequency, fear. Its prime directive is just self-protection, which ironically just creates more blockages, more fractures, and stops the flow of life. It's a system that is literally running on corrupted, out-of-date code.
Now, look at the alternative, the NCR heart. This isn't just a fixed-up version of the stone heart. No, it's a total replacement. It's not a static, broken object. It's a living organ of liquid gold. Its defining feature is its connection, its resonance. It beats in perfect sync with its source. It's not just repaired hardware. It's a living, breathing vessel designed for maximum conductivity and flow. And here's the kicker. Forgiveness is the key that initiates the transition from the stone heart to the golden one.
Okay, so if forgiveness is turning the key that gets us from the stone heart to the gold heart, what actually happens? What are the spiritual physics at play here? When you make that governmental decision, what is actually set in motion? This is where we get into the really cool part.
The mechanics of release. We're moving from the why to the how. Let's pop the hood.
And it's a totally fair question. You're probably thinking, okay, this sounds great, but what am I actually doing when I choose to forgive? How does this powerful metaphor become a practical action that gets real, tangible results? What's the engine driving this whole spiritual technology? Because there is one.
The original language gives us a huge clue. The Greek word for forgive, aphiemi, it doesn't mean to emotionally accept an injury. It means to send away, to hurl, to let go. And the sources describe it as this incredible, dynamic, high-speed, centrifugal force. I mean, just imagine your spirit starts spinning at such a high frequency of holiness in life that the low-frequency data of an offense, it just can't stick. It literally gets flung off into oblivion. It's not about accepting it, it's about ejecting it.
We can actually visualize this as a three-step process, almost like a spiritual pressure washer. Okay, step one, the spirit, the pneuma, builds this intense hydraulic pressure of holiness and life inside your heart. Step two, your decision to forgive, your jurisdictional act. It isn't the power itself, it's you opening the release valve. That's your only job. And then step three, the very instant that valve is opened, all the toxic fractured data from the offense is forcefully and instantaneously expelled. It's gone.
And this comparison is just perfect. It illustrates the difference in energy between the two states. Because let's be real, both unforgiveness and forgiveness can feel intense. They're both high-frequency states. But the FCR state of unforgiveness is the destructive heat of a fever. It's toxicity burning the body, the vessel, down from the inside out. But the NCR state, the state of release, is the purifying heat of a furnace. It's contained, high-frequency power that doesn't burn the vessel. It purifies it, and it cleanses the entire atmosphere around it. One destroys, the other cleanses.
Okay, now that we've seen how this incredible machine works, we have to get serious about the stakes. What happens when we have this silver key in our hand, but we refuse to put it in the lock and turn it? The consequences are not passive, they're not neutral. They are active, they are severe, and they are happening right now. This is the tangible, real-world cost of leaving that door locked.
Just look at this list. This is a cascade of catastrophic system failures. When the key is withheld, your supply lines, your resources, your finances, your creativity, they get restricted. Your access to divine insight, to revelation, it gets throttled. In the spiritual realm, the accuser literally gains legal standing to mess with your life. And maybe worst of all, your own discernment gets distorted. You start seeing everything through the dirty filter of your past pain. You become, quite literally, anchored in yesterday.
So here's the bottom line, and we have to get this. Holding on to unforgiveness is not a sign of strength. It's not you taking the moral high ground. It is self-imposed internal captivity. You think you're holding them prisoner, but you're the one in the cell with them. It traps you in this vicious trauma loop, forcing your soul to relive over and over again the very injury you refuse to release. You end up protecting the wound, not yourself.
All right, after laying out that pretty heavy cost, we can now really appreciate the unbelievable value of what's waiting on the other side of that door. Because the reward for making this governmental, jurisdictional decision, it's not just a little bit of relief, it's the release of immense, immeasurable treasure.
And just remember this. All those awful consequences we just talked about, the restricted supply, the distorted discernment, the internal prison, they all stay firmly in place. The system remains in lockdown. The treasure stays behind the locked door. All of it. Until the key is turned. That single decision changes everything.
And what's so incredible is the specific nature of this treasure. It's not just vague blessings. Turning the key unlocks three very distinct dimensions of kingdom wealth. You unlock gold. That's your kingly authority, the actual provision and financial flow to get your assignment done. You unlock frankincense. That represents an intimate connection to your source and a clear, clean, spiritual atmosphere to operate in. And you unlock myrrh. That's the very power of resurrection life, the ability to see dead things come back to life in a brand new sense of purpose.
Which brings us to our final, and honestly, our most empowering point of all. Forgiveness is not a victim's last desperate resort. That's FCR thinking. In the NCR, it is an act of mature, confident executive leadership. It is the decision of a governor, an ambassador, who understands the authority they carry and the responsibility they have over their assigned jurisdiction.
The sources actually call this being an authorized renderer. Just think about that title.
It means you have been given governmental authority, executive dominion, to not just release an offense for yourself, but to actively remit it. That word means to cancel, to delete, the very frequency of that sin and trauma from your entire environment. You're not just cleaning your own house. When you do this, you are cleansing the atmosphere for your family, for your business, for everyone in your jurisdiction.
So, we leave you with this. This isn't just a nice quote. It's a personal declaration. It's a governmental decision that you can make right now. It's you saying that the infinite opportunities of your future are far more valuable than the finite injuries of your past. It's a choice to stop being a security guard for an old wound and to start acting like the governor of your destiny. It's the moment you stop being a prisoner of what was and you become the architect of what is next. You turn the key.